Ever feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of options in real estate investing? Trust me, I've been there. It can feel like trying to pick the perfect chocolate from a box overflowing with choices. Overwhelming, to say the least. But what if I told you there's a way to simplify the process and find the perfect real estate investments for you? Today on Passive Real Estate Investing for Her, we're diving into the world of riches in the niches. We'll explore different real estate strategies and help you discover the perfect investment opportunities that align with your goals and lifestyle. You're listening to Passive Real Estate Investing for Her, where smart women make smart investments. Let's take the overwhelm out of real estate investing. I'm Melissa Nash, a seasoned investor, wife, and a mom of 4 who built a secure future through real estate while juggling a busy family life. My mission is simple: to show you how to easily invest in real estate so you can confidently build wealth for more security, time, and freedom. So if you're ready to create the life you've always dreamed of, stick around. Let's do this. Today, we're going to be talking about chocolates. Yes, chocolates. In fact, we're going to be talking about a box of chocolates. You know, the kind you get from grandma at Christmas, and you lift the lid and there's a whole assortment of chocolates, but you don't like all of them. Some of them have those weird, gross fruit fillings, while others have the delicious caramel center. Those are the ones that I'm always after. But real estate is just like a box of chocolate. It offers a lot of choices. It can be overwhelming at first, but you learn to recognize what you like, you start making better choices. And in real estate, those chocolates are the different niches and strategies. And the more you explore and taste test, the better you'll understand your preferences and find the sweet spot that suits your investing goals. So before we dive into all of the delicious details, let's define our terms and get on the same page. So we're talking about niches and strategies. Some people say niches, I say niches. I think they're both right. So a niche is the type of property you invest in. So think of it as the flavor of the chocolate. A strategy is what you do with that property. Are you savoring it slowly, like that buy and hold property? Are you transforming it into something new, like flipping? Or sharing it with others for a sweet reward, which would be wholesaling? So, you guys, let's open that box of chocolate and take a peek at a few popular niches. So, the first one that we are going to talk about is raw land. Now, you can think of raw land as a blank canvas for real estate. It's undeveloped land with potential for future development or appreciation. So, investors in this niche often have a long-term vision and patience. The next one would be single-family homes. This is the bread and butter of the real estate market. It's familiar, it's comfortable, it's always in demand. As I always say, housing is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So, this niche has always been a favorite of mine. It offers the perfect balance of simplicity, cash flow potential, and again, back to demand. You always have somebody that wants to buy or rent a single family home. So, this is an ideal strategy for a buy and hold investor who is seeking steady rental income and long-term appreciation. So the next one would be small multifamily. So small multifamily would be duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, anything under 4 doors. And it balances the simplicity of single family homes, but with the potential of larger properties. So instead of having one loan for 1 door, you could have one loan for 2 doors or 3 doors or 4 doors. So a popular strategy that we're going to talk about a little bit later is called house hacking, and you can do this with the duplex. So we'll come back to that one during strategies. Let's talk about large apartments. These are complexes that generate significant income but require more management and capital. So they're suitable for investors who are seeking economies of scale and are willing to work with a professional property management company, either in-house or outsourced, but there's definitely a lot more moving parts, and sometimes you have to hire a full-time individual just to handle your apartments. REITs. What are REITs? REITs are real estate investment trusts. That's what it stands for. They allow you to invest in real estate without owning physical property. So it's a pre-packaged assortment of chocolates of sort. You invest in a fund that owns various properties, offering diversification and passive income. Up next, we've got commercial properties, office buildings, retail spaces, industrial complexes. Commercial properties can offer high returns, but often involve longer leases and more complex management. And lastly, we've got notes and tax liens. These are way more advanced strategies that involve the purchase of debt or liens on properties. They definitely require a specialized knowledge. Now let's talk about what you can do with these delectable real estate treats. So, here are the three main strategies, and then I'm going to break off and we're going to dive into some nuanced strategies. But the three main ones that most investors talk about are going to be buy and hold, where you savor the chocolate slowly and you enjoy the long-term appreciation and rental income. Then we've got flipping. You see the HGTV shows and the Joanna Gaines and all those people. It's a quick sugar rush. You buy, you renovate it, and you sell it for a fast profit. Flipping definitely gets the adrenaline pumping, and I've had plenty of experiences with flipping. Some are successes and some were failures, but there's definitely a lot of challenges with this strategy. One time I renovated a property, and shortly after it was renovated, we placed a tenant, and they called the property manager and said they were literally looking out the window and watched their AC unit being stolen in broad daylight. First, we didn't think that could be true, and we thought maybe the tenant was just making up a story. However, we learned that the sub who was on the job apparently needed some money and decided to go to all the houses that he had just placed an AC unit in and took them back out and placed them in other houses. Some sort of crazy scam, I guess. But we definitely learned a valuable lesson about security measures and putting cages on these AC units. It's definitely part of the learning process that you learn by doing. But there's a lot of money to be had with. And the last one is wholesaling. Wholesaling is basically you are the middleman. You find a deal and you pass it on to another investor for a fee. That's it. I mean, that's basically the way that one works, to break it down as quickly as possible. So now let's dive into some more nuanced approaches. And these might be ones that you've heard of as well. The first one is called the BRRRR strategy. So it's BRRRR. So there's 4 R's in there. And the B stands for buy, and the 4 R's stands for rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Now, this strategy, I've done this one as well. It involves buying a distressed property, renovating it, then you rent it out, and then you refinance it to recoup all of your initial investment, and then you repeat the process by buying another property. It's a powerful way to build a portfolio quickly. Obviously, with all of this and R's in there, there's a lot of steps, and you better know what you're doing because you're going to end up spending a lot of time and possible money if you don't do it correctly. Again, I've done that and I've seen some successes, and I do think it is a powerful way to grow a portfolio quickly, but definitely know what you're doing. So there's another strategy called house hacking. This is where you live in one unit of a multifamily property and you rent out the other side. So this is going to help you offset your housing costs, and you're going to build that equity faster. So let's say you bought a duplex. You can live in one side and you can rent out the other. Now, one of the nice things about that is that because you bought it as an owner-occupied property, you do not have to put down as a large of a down payment. So you can get into a property a lot more affordably, And then the other side is basically going to help offset your housing costs. So the next one is value add investing. So, what is value add investing? So, this is where you identify a property with untapped potential and increase the value through improvements or by getting a good deal. So, again, this one does generate returns. However, it does require careful planning and execution. So, as an example of this one, let's say you found a property for $150,000. Now, let's say you've been watching the property for a while. You notice the property needs a little bit of work, not a full renovation, but maybe it needs new flooring and new paint and maybe a new landscaping, nothing too crazy. And you've been watching this listing, and all of a sudden it dropped in price by a little bit, and then it's just still sitting. Well, if you can put in an offer and let's say you really lowball that offer, and let's say you put in an offer for $100,000, the market value of that property is probably 150. And if you put in a little bit of effort on that property, just a few improvements, maybe it'll be worth 160, maybe 170. So now you just built that value into the property. Now, you might not want to do a cash out refinance on it for a while. You might want to hold it for a couple of years. But this is value add investing where you can find a really good deal and then it's got some nice equity in it so you can pull it out at some point. Now, the next one is short-term rentals. So platforms like Airbnb and VRBO have opened up opportunities for these short-term rentals. This strategy can absolutely offer higher cash flow, but does involve more active management. So I've personally started 8 short-term rentals over the past 6 years. So I definitely have opinions and thoughts about it. It's a fantastic way to generate income and growth and appreciation. But I've also learned it's not entirely passive. I do have to keep my phone near me because I manage them myself, and I have to be prepared for, the occasional emergency with a guest. I have to coordinate things with my maintenance team and then obviously with my cleaning team. Now, there are ways to automate most of this. So a lot of this is automated. It's not like I'm sitting here, oh man, I got to set my timer. I've got to reach out to my guests to let them know what time to check in. I'm not doing any of that. Everything is automated. And even down to my cleaning communication is automated as well. So, I am not spending a lot of time with it at this point, but I did spend a lot of time in the beginning when I was setting it all up. So all of these that we talked about are passive. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is called turnkey investing. Turnkey investing is probably one of the most passive investments where you own the real estate. This is a great strategy if you are short on time, but you have some money to invest. It's a great starting point because all the work has been done for you. So you're buying a property that has already been renovated and you're having a local property manager do everything for you. So, for example, just with $25,000, you could buy a newly renovated property in a market like Indianapolis or Birmingham, Alabama, that could potentially generate about 10% cash on cash return just the first year. And like I just mentioned, the local property manager handles everything. So it is extremely passive. I own several turnkey properties. In fact, that's how I first got started investing in real estate in another state. They've been a fantastic addition to my portfolio. And for the past 10 years, I have helped other investors invest in turnkey as well. The key is finding the right team and knowing who to trust. So if you're interested in learning more about turnkey investing, then check out the show notes below and we'll talk about that together if you're interested in that. So with so many options, how do you find your ideal niche? Well, you don't know until you try. I've personally built a portfolio using almost all of these strategies, from wholesaling to flipping to the BRRRR strategy to short-term rentals to multifamily to turnkey. You I like them all. I can't say that I don't like one or I like another better, but there have been different times in my portfolio growth where I needed to be more hands-on and more involved because of control issues, but also because of limited funds. And there have been times where I wanted it to be as passive as possible, and I had more funds available to invest. So you can also see with time and money that also determine which direction you want to go. So here are some points that can help you get started to think about what type of niche or strategy is right. You need to assess your goals and your risk tolerance. You need to analyze your skills and resources. You need to research different niches and strategies. And a good idea is to start small and experiment. And then the most important one is to build a team of professionals, no matter which strategy or niche you are looking into doing. Now that we covered all of this, it is time to put your chocolate cravings into action. First things first, I want you to go ahead and grab a copy of my Finding Your Niche, a free PDF that is a step-by-step guide. It is your roadmap to your real estate sweet spot. The link is waiting for you in the episode notes, so don't be shy. Click it. It's really free. I kind of break down the strategy a little bit more to help you decide what might be a good starting point for you. And if you're feeling the allure of turnkey investing, I'd love to chat. Reach out to me through the link in the episode notes. Let's see if we can find you some low hassle, high reward real estate treats. And lastly, let's shatter that glass ceiling together. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast with every fabulous female friend and family member you know. Let's build a community of empowered women conquering the real estate world. I'll be back next week with more insights and strategies for successful real estate investing. Until then, happy investing.